expression means is that A is the base, while M is the power, M is the index, M is the indices, or M is also the exponent. So if you have, for instance, 2 raised to the power of 3, it's also 2 times 2 times 2. This is what it means, that 2 multiply itself into 3 places, not addition. And what it means is 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2 will give you 8. Let's say, for instance, we also have 3 raised to the power of 2. What it means is 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 will give you 9. Before we begin to go into deep examples in indices, we need to know the properties and laws of indices. So there are laws that govern indices, and when you follow the laws, you'll be able to get the right answers. So one of the first law, we have the multiplication of exponents. Multiplication of exponents. Exponent being the power. So you can multiply the exponent. Let's take, for instance, you have A being the base raised to the power of, let's say, M times A being the base raised to the power of N. If you see this condition, the basics are the same. A, this is A. So you pick one of the base. You pick one. Let's say we pick this one, or this, any of the base A. Then we add the power or the exponent, M plus N. This is one of the law. And let's do example on this. You have 3 raised to the power of 2 times 3 raised to the power of 3. You see that the base are the same. So we can pick one of the base. This is going to be 3. Then you add the exponent, 2 plus 3. This is going to be 3 raised to the power of 2 plus 3 will give you 5. And the answer is going to be 243 if you press your calculator. You can also, let's say our base, the exponent, has negative value. You have 2 raised to the power of 3 times 2 raised to the power of minus, let's say, minus 5. We pick one of the base. This is going to be 2. Then we add the power. This is going to be 3 plus, because of this negative sign here, we introduce the parenthesis or the bracket, minus 5. So we are having 2 raised to the power of 3. What is plus times minus will give you minus 5. It is a law in mathematics that minus times minus will give you plus, minus times plus will give you minus, plus times minus will give you minus, plus times plus will give you plus. So we are going to have 2 raised to the power of, this is 3. If you take, you cannot take, you You cannot take 5 from 3, so you need to borrow 2. You are going to have minus 2. Because of this negative sign here, we have 2 raised to the power of minus 2. Because of this negative sign, is going to be equals to 1 all over 2 raised to the power of 2, which is equals to 1 all over 4. That is when you have a negative value for it. So let's say we have under this, we have a raised to the power of m and n. This is equals to what is outside the bracket. We always multiply what is inside the bracket, and we have our m is exponent, and n is also exponent, that is they are raised to the power of. So a, which is the base, this is going to give us m times n. So this is going to be a raised to the power of m times n. For instance, example, we have 2 raised to the power of 3 raised to the power of 2. The base, we have 2, 3 times 2, which is going to give us 2 raised to the power of 5, and 2 raised, this time this is going to give us 6. Sorry for that. 3 times 2 will give you 6, and it's going to be 64. So we are done with the multiplication rules. Let's go with division of exponent. Division of exponent. In division of exponent, if you have a raised to the power of m divided by a raised to the power of n, since the base are the same, you pick one of the base, a, then you subtract the exponent. You see that in the case of multiplication, we add the power, but in the case of division, in the case of multiplication, we add them, we have the exponent. But in the case of division, we subtract the power. Let's say, for instance, you have 2 raised to the power of 5 divided by 2 raised to the power of 3. There are many ways to solve this. Ideally, you can have, this is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, divide by 2 times 2 times 2. 2 and 2 will go, 2 and 2 will go, 2 and 2 will go. So you are left with 2 raised to the power of 2, which is equals to 4. But using this law, you pick one of the base, which is 2. We have 5, since we are subtracting the power, minus 3. This is going to be 2 raised to the power of, you can take 3 from 5. So 5 minus 3 is going to give you 2, and this is going to be equals to 4. Let's say that in the case of when the exponent is negative, what are we going to do? So example, let me be coming down. Example, yeah. Example, you have 2 raised to the power of 3 divided by 2 raised to the power of 5. You see that this one will give us a negative exponent already. So what are we going to do? This is going to be 2 raised to the power of 3 minus 5. So we are having 2 raised to the power of minus 2. Now that we are having minus 2, for us to remove this negative sign, we need to introduce fraction. This is going to be equals to 1 all over. Since the fraction now comes in, the negative sign will go. We are having 2 raised to the power of 2. The fraction eradicates or eliminates the negative sign. So this is going to be 1 all over 4 because of the fraction. So let's go to another law, the negative exponent. The negative exponent. So under the negative exponent, started writing negative. In the negative exponent, when you have a raised to the power of minus m, you see that the m, which is the exponent, is negative already. For us to solve a problem like this, we need to introduce fraction. So this is going to be 1 all over a raised to the power of m. The fraction now have removed the negative sign. So let's say we have 3 raised to the power of minus 3. This is going to be equals to 1 all over 3 raised to the power of 3. And 3 raised to the power of 3 is equals to 27. So the negative sign of the power can be removed using fraction. It can be removed using fraction. So let's go to another law. The other law is the zero law, that is zero exponent. This law states that any number or any value in indices that is raised to the power of 0 is equals to 1. That is, a raised to the power of 0 is equals to 1. X raised to the power of 0 is equals to 1. 20,000 raised to the power of 0 is equals to 1. Let me prove this. You know, x raised to the power of 0 is equals to 1. How? You know, x raised to the power of 2 minus 2 is also the same thing as x raised to the power of 0. This is also the same thing as x raised to the power of 0. So from the law of the division law, we are meant to understand that this can also be equals to x raised to the power of 2 divided by x raised to the power of 2. From here, we are also made to understand that this is going to be x times x all over x times x. So this and this will go, this and this will go. this here 1, this here 1, this here 1, this here 1. This is going to be 1 times 1 all over 1 times 1, which is equals to 1 all over 1, which is equals to 1. So you see that anything raised to the power of 0 is equals to 1. There are many ways to prove that, but I'm just using that as a case study. So we also have the other law, fractional exponent. So we have this law called a fractional exponent. And let's say, for instance, you have a raised to the power of x all over y. You see that the a is the base, then the fraction, the exponent is in fraction. The one that is in the power is in fraction. So if you have a case like this, what you will do is you write the base, which is the a. Then you take the square root of it. The a will raise to the power of x, while you have your y here. So this is how to solve a case like this. Let's take, for instance, example. We have 27 raised to the power of, we have 27 raised to the power of 2 all over 3. I think this example will go. Yes, this one will go. So you take this cube root of it, because this one will come here. Then the 27 will be raised to the power of 2. So the 27 will be raised to the power of 2. 27 square, then you take the cube root of it. Okay. So for us to solve this particular one, if you take the cube root, it's going to be 3, then you put your square here, because cube root of, let me prove this. What it means is that this is 27 raised to the power of 1 all over 3. And 27 is also the same thing as 3 raised to the power of 3 times 1 all over 3. So this is going to be 3 raised to the power of 3 all over 3, which is equals to 3. Then you bring down your square. So this is going to be 9. So this is an example under the law. So to corroborate our point, let's solve one example. So we have an example here. The question is, simplify 3 is the base, raised to the power of 2, then outside the bracket is 3 times 3 raised to the power of 2 all over, open bracket, 3 raised to the power of minus 3, close the bracket, raised to the power of 2. So they say we should leave our answer in index form. So in mathematics, you solve step by step. You follow it step by step and you don't rush it. So solution. From one of the law, we are meant to understand that if you have 3 being the base, the power that is outside the bracket will multiply the power that is inside the bracket. So this is going to be 3. Yeah, anyone can go if it is multiplication. 2 times 3 multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 2. all over 3 minus 3 times 2. So the next step is going to be equals to 3. 2 times 3 will give you 6. Multiply by 3 raised to the power of 2 all over the base minus 3 times 2 will give you minus 6. You see, from the multiplication law, we see that our base are the same. Since the base are the same from the numerator, so we pick one of the base, which is 3, then we add the exponent 6 plus 2 all over 3 raised to the power of minus 6. So 3 is the base, 6 plus 2 will give us 8 all over 3 raised to the power of minus 6. Now the problem has led us to another law. This is now division law. So we are going to pick one of the base, which is 3. We do this when the base are the same. I think we're going to solve problem that in one of our video when the base are not the same, so that you get it and you get more clarity. So we pick the base 8. Because of the division, we are going to introduce negative sign, and our 6 is having negative already, so we introduce minus on bracket minus 6. So this is going to be 3, 8. Minus times minus will give you plus, then 6. We are having 3, 8 plus 6. I know it's going to be, this is 8, you carry 2 from here, put it, is going to be 10. There remainder 4. So the 4 plus 10 is going to be 14. And we need to obey instructions. Let's say we should leave our answer in index form. So this is the answer. And in our next video, we'll be doing more example of this. Thank you.